Hello traders, we took 3 trades this morning. I'm going to show you the live recordings of all 3 of those trades in just a moment, explain everything that happened. We'll talk about the results. I think today was an interesting day and there's a lot of helpful information here, especially for new traders, traders who are trying to learn to trade with discipline, because today could have been a very big red day and it basically ended up being a break-even day. And considering everything that was kind of going on today, I think that's a fine result and essentially buys us time to continue trading this trading plan and collecting data. So this is my account page as of today, and this is the P&L for today. We only traded AVYA. That was the first trade our first ticker symbol that triggered a trade. Let me just play my intro video really quick, just in case you're brand new here. If you have no idea who I am or what I do, let me show you that. If you've seen it already, just fast forward about 3 minutes and you should be up to speed. So here we go. Welcome to Trading Armor. My name is David, and as of the recording of this introduction, it is August 15th, 2022. I've been actively trading the stock market for over 2.5 years now. I'm going to use this introduction for many videos, so check the date of the one you're watching right now. It's probably much more recent. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back and feel free to skip over this intro. But if you're new around here, thanks for stopping by, and allow me to introduce myself and give you a few reasons as to why you may or may not want to stick around. My journey as a trader began in May of 2020, and like most new traders, I quickly realized that trading is not as easy as most people make it out to be. In fact, it's downright difficult. Luckily, even when I was new, I approached it with caution, which kept me from blowing up my account. Eventually, I realized that if I had any chance of being a profitable trader, that I needed not only a good strategy, but a well thought out and written day trading plan. I also needed the discipline to trade that plan exactly the same way every single day. I get my discipline from forward testing all of these trading plans by taking 100 trades or more, collecting the data, and from that data I can produce statistics. Once I know my statistics, I can go into the market with some expectation of what's going to happen, and that makes it very easy for me to stay disciplined and stick to my plan. We've already proven a small cap trading plan profitable after taking 100 trades, but we also proved that plan was quite tedious to trade. So right now, I am currently forward testing 2 new trading plans. One of them is for active day traders, people that want to trade the market every single day right at the open. That plan is called the Top Gainers Trading Plan, and the other plan is quite different. Both of them can be traded individually or simultaneously. The other plan is for people that may not be around during market hours or just don't have any desire to sit in front of charts all day. That's the SPXL day trading plan. Now, both of those trading plans have their own playlist on my YouTube channel, so you can check those out. Now, it's important to know that I am not a professional trader. I have absolutely no formal financial education. In fact, my first degree is in music, and later on I went back to school for physics. Yeah, physics. And I just recently finished a master's degree in medical physics, and I know all of that might sound really strange, but apparently I have a curious, creative, and problem-solving mind, which allows me to approach trading in a novel way. So stick around if you'd like to watch me try and apply my odd educational background and unique life experiences to the very unusual world of the stock market. Thank you. Okay, let's get back to the business at hand. So I've got some other videos here to show you the live trade recordings from today. It's broken up into 2 separate videos only because the trade went on so long. I just had to get back to my normal day, and I set an alert. You'll see all of this in the video to alert me when a certain price level was broken and I thought the trade had a chance of kind of closing, and you'll see all of that. So first of all, this is right at the market open. This is me trading my Top Gainers trading plan that I spoke about in the intro video. And the reason why I have this please stand by up is because last week I noticed we missed a stock that would have been an easy one and done trade right at the open. I think it would have triggered a trade like at 9:30 a.m. and it wasn't showing up on our top gainers list. So I have got in the habit now of restarting Webull a few times right after the open, trying to give the top gainers list a chance to truly kind of refresh and update. And I also check it on my laptop as well, which you guys don't see, but that's off screen, and just make sure that everything is matching. So now it looks like our one-day top gainers list is up, and we're ready to start picking stocks and putting them on the chart, and then you'll see I'm putting price alerts out. That's what these little things are, so that I know if I get triggered into, not so much triggered into a trade, but triggered to watch out for a trade entry. Those are two different things. So these price alerts are set at the level where these ticker symbols can become tradable, only if then an entry is triggered, or I should say whichever entry is triggered first. Meaning that, you know, one of the ticker symbols could trigger an entry before the other. And it's my job to pick the one that triggers the entry first, basically. So that kind of removes some subjectivity from the trading. I just go with whichever one is triggering first, and then that's it. Sometimes that works out great, sometimes it doesn't, but it basically makes it so that at the end of the day I can say, hey, look, I just followed my plan, and whatever happened, and you know, I had trader discipline. And that's really the most important thing, especially for new traders. You have to develop discipline. If you don't have that, all the luck in the world, you know, picking the right stock once in a while is not going to save you. You're going to end up red in the long run. So anyway, I bring that up. That's a lot of talking, I know. I bring that up because these two stocks, AVYA and INDO, both triggered or I should say they both hit my price alert like at the same time, almost the same time. AVYA triggered it 1 minute earlier, and therefore I had to stick with AVYA. But I noticed, you know, INDO was running. It was near my price alert, but there we go. We see AVYA triggered it first, and so therefore I have to ignore INDO, and I have to go with AVYA because that's what my plan says to do. And there are days where that's going to help me, and maybe days where that's going to hurt me. But I know in the long run that if I stick to my trading plan, that's something that I can duplicate every day. I can replicate that type of discipline every day. I can trade the same way every day, and then my statistics actually mean something. I have a video all about the statistics so far that I released this Sunday. If you haven't seen that, you can check that out. So right now, I'm waiting for, so AVYA actually already hit the price alert. We saw that. So I'm just waiting for a pullback. So you can see kind of as this thing is, you know, trying to give me a pullback, INDO now hit an alert. But I really need to just focus on AVYA, and that's what we did. You'll see me pull it up on the big chart here in just a moment. AVYA. And the price action looks great, looks really strong. You know, we don't really try to read the price action too hard with this trading plan. It's based on some very simple ideas. But, you know, it kind of just goes to show you, here's the first entry. You know, this looks like a great setup. You have this really strong move to the upside, a nice pullback retracement about maybe 40%-ish, somewhere around there. And then we get triggered on our first entry. You know, as far as price action goes, looks great, but you never know what's going to happen. So you always want to use stop losses, and that's what we did here. So let's just watch the trade get triggered live. So I'm waiting for it to break over the top of this 1 minute candle, and you see it does that there. And I trigger my hotkeys to get in. Now this is another important thing I wanted to bring up, especially for newer traders. When you're trading these stocks that are around $1, right around $1, the hotkeys settings that work really well on every other price level, you know, between 5 to infinity, basically, there's problems with trading stocks with this low of price. And you see this right here. My stop loss kind of gets canceled right away by Webull, and I have to not close this, but set a bracket order manually. So you saw that I closed out that profit target so that I could set the bracket order manually. And you do that by left clicking on the position, and you saw I just hit close by stop loss, take profit, and now I have my bracket order in place. So it's not that big a deal. But I'll show you another scenario where I had an issue, and I'll show you how to resolve that as well. But it really kind of comes with the territory of trading these penny stocks. And you can see even it won't let me move the stop loss below $1 because of the way these penny stocks work. So that's another issue. And then we get stopped out right away in that first trade, which that's totally expected. That's okay. If it happens, it happens. Now we can get ready to take the next two entries. So let's fast forward here a little bit. All right, so now here's where I had the next issue is I was trying to trigger my hotkeys to get in at like 95 cents, and it's really having a hard time with this. It shouldn't, because so it's saying here a minimum order size of 100 is required when stock prices between the 1/10 of a dollar up to 99 cents. And I'm trading with 11% of my account, and that's well more than enough to buy 100 shares. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on, with that, but we resolve it here in just a moment. And I'll show you how I get around that. So basically, I put in a limit order. Now I'm going to show you something even better to do than using a limit order here in just a moment. But it's really important to have this trade widget available quickly in your trading setup. And if you have any questions about how to get that on there, just let me know and I'll explain that, or maybe update a video about my layout, because it's almost exactly as it was in my previous layout video, but I have made a couple small changes, so I could make a new video on that. But anyway, here we are sticking to the plan. We took our next entry. This is entry number 2. I'm using my XR calculator to figure out the profit target, and that's pretty much it. So let's fast forward, and you're going to see me get stopped out of this trade as well. Excuse me. And yeah, just so that you kind of see what I was talking about before, my hotkeys are set to buy with 11% of my account. Excuse me. Actually, it's 11% of my buying power, which ends up being about 10% of my total account. And that's because I always have orders out there for SPXL. So that's another thing. But you see that quantity of my account was able to buy over 100 shares. So the warning that I'm getting from Webull doesn't make a lot of sense. But this is just one of the issues with trading these low price stocks. You're going to have issues there. So, and yeah, Webull is not perfect, but I have never seen a broker that is, even the paid brokers like a Lightspeed or TradeStation or something like that. They all have their issues, and I've seen plenty of live trading videos of people trading those platforms that have order entry issues and all kinds of other issues as well. So no such thing as a perfect broker. So let's watch trade number 2 play out here. So there we get stopped out. Let me just show you that live getting stopped out. So I trade all or nothing 3R, so that means that my profit target is always 3 times away from my risk. And one of the reasons I do that is so that if I do lose the first 2 trades, that the third trade can cancel out the first 2 losers and should end green on the day if it works. Obviously, it can fail. We have max loss days pretty regularly where we lose all 3 trades and then we're down 3R. But today we took our third trade, and the third trade did end up working out. It was quite a long haul, and you'll see that. But it doesn't always work out perfectly where that third trade is going to wipe out your previous losers and have you green on the day. And you saw that at the beginning of the video when I showed my account. We're still down 50 cents, essentially break even. So really, we still have to attribute that to the quality of trading all or nothing 3R. If I wasn't doing that, I would have been down much more, or I would have had a big red day. So that's kind of, we still have to thank the all or nothing 3R, trading strategy for giving us this break even day, basically. Anyway, so here is what I suggest doing when you are in this sub $1 range. Instead of trying to get in with the hotkeys, is place a stop order. So buy stop, set the price, make sure that you use 4 significant digits, or actually that 0 is not significant, but 4 digits after the decimal place whenever you're trading below $1. Otherwise, the orders will not work. So anyway, where are we at now? So yeah, you can see my stop price is placed so that if it breaks out above this candle, I get into the next trade. And then what I do is I set the bracket order immediately after I'm in the position, and I just left click to do that. And then you can slide this thing around. If it's very close to the same price, I think that makes sense to do that. Let me just show you me doing that in just a moment here. Because you're not going to be, buying a bunch more shares just if the price moves a few thousandths of a cent, So anyway, that's what I did there, was just slide it down, and then you're going to see me get triggered. into the trade in just a second. There we go. We got 110 shares at 92 cents. And then I left click and hit close by take profit stop loss. I just want to show you all of that live. All right, there we go. We're in the trade now. Left click, close position, close by stop loss, take profit. That's how you get those bracket orders out there. And then we need to move them into the appropriate position. And I placed my stop loss at 89 cents since this was essentially at 90 cents. So I gave it a 1 cent stop loss, which I felt was plenty of room considering, you know, the price action up till now. And now we just need to figure out our profit target. So again, using the XR calculator, we type in our position. This one, it really doesn't matter if you, on the calculator, you don't have to put in all those digits like Webull makes you do. So our profit target actually ended up being in the correct place automatically at $1.01. Now this is where, to me, I think things get really interesting, because if you're a new trader, you just lost these 2 trades. This price action doesn't look very promising. This thing looks pretty weak. And right now it was 10:02 in the morning. And let's just fast forward and see kind of how things played out as the morning went on. This thing just chopped around. It came down against us. It started to show strength, and then came down against us again, and now it's like right around our position. And now here we are 20 minutes later, still in this trade. We've already lost 2 trades. If you're a newer trader, what do you think are the things that are going to be going through your mind? Like, oh my gosh, this is just going to be another loser. Let me just get out of this position. Let me raise my stop loss up. Maybe I can at least reduce the size of the loss on this one. Maybe I'll move my profit target down because I can maybe at least get 1 R out of this. These are all thoughts that could go through your mind. And they're all valid thoughts, but if you have a trading plan, you just need to stick to that plan. You cannot succumb to those urges during the trading day, even if you do end up with a max loss day. And that's going to happen plenty of times. But at least if you stick to your plan, look at this. So look at how close this thing gets to my stop loss here. Comes all the way down to 90 cents. It looks like there's no way this is going to recover. There's no way this is going to come back up and go to hit $1.01. So this is where I stopped this video, because it's already past 10:30 and I have other things to do. So I just let this trade play out. You can see I set an alert here at 96 cents so that if the price does come back up, then I can start the video up again. And you'll see, you can look at my account page and see that, you know, that order is still there. So that's when my alert hit, and now it is 11:11. So it's another 40 minutes later. Can you imagine if you just sat there and watched the charts? The chances of you breaking your plan at that point are very high, because you have just been sitting here waiting for this thing to play out. So instead, my suggestion would be just to try to move on with your day, leave the bracket orders in place. As long as you did everything to plan up to that point, you are good to go. So now we just have to let this thing play out. And excuse me, we can fast forward here a little bit. You can see, you know, even after this huge green candle, it looked a little bit scary for a moment. And the price action is quite interesting here because it looks very strong. It hits the dollar. You expect to see some resistance, some pullback there, and we do get a little bit. And now watch this. Let me show you this live, because you see my profit target here is at $1.01, and there it just taps it very quickly. When that happens, there's a very low probability of you getting filled in that scenario, because you have to think there are probably hundreds of thousands of shares being traded at that price in that split second, and you're just another person in line. And the chances of your shares, you know, getting sold at that moment are just very low. And again, doesn't matter if you have Lightspeed or one of the high-end brokers. It's still a matter of the volume that is available at that price and where you are in line. And I've seen these types of orders not get filled even on a Lightspeed type of broker. So anyway, look at this now. We're getting this heavy pullback. Again, if you're a new trader, if you don't have discipline, you could really struggle here. And that's why I think you just need to go into the trade with a plan and stick to the plan and be happy with the outcome either way, because you stuck to your plan. Now, luckily, this thing did come back up, and it still tapped that $1 a few times without filling. Again, it just came up there for a split second and didn't fill. But again, we just stick to our plan and trader discipline. That is really everything. And eventually, there it is at $1 again. eventually we do get filled. But look, I mean, you have to wait and look at how, like, it would be so easy to just pull that profit target down. But again, that would be breaking the plan. So we can't do that. And you can see I just left it alone, and eventually we did get filled. I think this thing did go up a little higher. It may go up way higher later in the day. I don't care about any of that stuff. All I care about is that I stuck to my plan. And that's what we did. You can see that's the end of the video there. So I can, again, show you the account page, show you the orders. This is the AVYA. I did not trade yesterday, so you're going to see my last trade was on Friday. Yesterday I was out of town, so that's why I didn't trade. And other than that, I think that's pretty much everything that I could share with you guys in one recap video. So our statistics haven't changed that much today. I'm not going to go over those. I'll probably go over them midweek or just wait till the end of the week. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll be back trading the open, and like I said, today is really kind of a scratch day. It's not going to make a big difference in the long run, so it's nothing excuse me, to be too concerned about. Oh, the other thing I think I was going to mention was that stock INDO. If you look at that, I only looked at it because I was concerned. You know, I know when both of those things were triggering, I had a little bit of a struggle, internal struggle going on. Because there is a part of the plan that says if two of the stocks are being triggered at the same time, it's up to me to judge which one to go with, and that's the only part of the plan that is subjective, and that is a weak point. I don't really like that. I'm going to try to figure out a way to kind of take that out of the plan. And today what we did was we went with the first one that triggered a trade, and I think that's the best thing to do because that is objective, and you can't really fault that when you look back, even if you ended up with a max loss day. And if you look at the other stock that was very close to being triggered in that first video, it was INDO. Let's just go back to that really quickly here and show you that. So here's INDO. So we had already got our price alert for AVYA, and then INDO triggered a minute later. And if you look at that chart, and again, I only did because I wasn't sure. I don't recommend doing this, but I wasn't sure if the stock that I went with, look, it went all the way to $7, by the way. INDO, I wasn't sure if that one actually triggered before AVYA, and I made that judgment call, as I said earlier, that you know, I must decide which ticker symbol to go with if they're both being triggered at the same time. That wasn't really the case today. AVYA was triggered about a minute before, so I think I was just getting myself ready for having to make that decision. But look at what would have happened on INDO. I'm going to show you this. And the thing is you know, you're going to see stuff like this happen probably more often than not. You cannot rewrite your plan because of things like this, because this is just one day out of so many. 969 is where I'm trying to put this line. Ugh, let me just draw another one. I keep moving it accidentally. I guess it's sticking to where my cursor is. All right, so here we go. Let's reset the chart. So this line, let me get rid of this one so there's no confusion. This line represents the price level that I wanted to see broken in order to trigger a trade on INDO. So like we can kind of walk through, you know, what would have happened on this. So we would have been triggered here, or that price alert would have happened right here, I think. Yeah, because yeah, you see that this wick goes all the way to 970, and this line's supposed to be at 969. Just bear with me here. So anyway, we would have had to enter for the first 1 minute candle to make a new high after this pullback, and that happens on this candle right here. Now this would have been interesting we may have been stopped out on this first trade, but we definitely would have eventually gotten a 3R trade. So this candle hit 959, and we would have got in somewhere around 950. And depending on, you know, did this price action occur after our trigger or not? You know, if we would have gotten into that trade before this bottom wick formed, we would have gotten stopped out of that first trade, and we would have lost trade number 1. And then trade number 2 would have been triggered right here, and our stop loss would have been over here. So the risk would have been just about the same on those two trades, and then that trade would have worked out, obviously. So it probably would have been a 2R day had we have gone with INDO. But it's impossible to know which one of these is going to run. I mean, you can, again, if you looked back at my small cap playlist, we had a plethora of criteria that should determine how strong these stocks are and which ones are more likely to hold up and break out and all of that stuff. And the results just weren't that great. It was profitable, which is good, but it took, after 100 trades, which took 9 months to take because the criteria was so strict, we were only up 15 times our risk after 100 trades. So the whole idea behind this plan is simplicity and tradability, basically. You're still going to be triggered into trades almost every day, if not every day. And I think the results are going to be at least comparable, but you're going to get there so much quicker. So even if we only get to 10R, if it just takes us a month and a half versus 15R after 9 months, I think you'd rather have the 10R after a month and a half. So that's the whole concept behind this plan, is simplicity and basically beating out the small cap plan that had these stricter criteria. So before I ramble on too much, that's it. The main message that I want to send out to everyone out there trading, especially new traders, is you really need to have a plan going into every single trade, and you need to stick to that plan no matter what. Always take your stop losses, honor your profit target, and in the long run, you should be green. Take care.